all I got to my name now is Waking the Dragon. So he's going to use Dingurso here, and what's he going to do with this? Oh, he's going to send the card my opponent controls to the graveyard, and now he decides to send the Waking the Dragon, baby, and he just woke the dragon. Hello, mathematicians. Today, I'm going to be going over how you've been wasting half your deck. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the extra deck. Yes, you've been wasting this deck like people who waste money buying lucky rocks from a horoscope shop. I'm talking about this deck, this part of the deck, this extra deck needs to be treated like gold. And I'm going to go over a myriad of ways that we're going to talk about how to utilize this extra deck to get as much value out of it as possible, like squeezing the juice out of an orange. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at this, right? Let's start with cards like Nadir Servant. This is one of my favorite cards in the game, so I'm going to start with this. Or even cards like Dogmatika Punishment. These rely you to send your monsters from the extra deck to get advantage. This one lets you to destroy a monster on the field, and this lets you to search a card. What do I mean by that? Well, we can do specific things with Nadir Servant. This is why it's one of my favorite cards. So it gets you so much advantage out of one card. Look at this. You could send cards like these. These are just examples. We're going to be going over some really cool stuff. But let's say you send over one of these. Well, you don't need to know their effects. Just know that Entis pops, this negates, and this will return a card when you send it from the extra deck to the graveyard. Yes, this will return a card on the field. This will negate a card on the field. And this will destroy a card on the field if you use Nadir Servant to send these. Absolutely insane. You can also do some bonus effect stuff, like we're going to start where it's going to get a lot more complex, but I'm just going to, let's say you throw this. This is going to allow you to mill 5 from your deck. Maybe you're running a graveyard central strategy. Well, now you just got 5 more cards in your graveyard. Or even this allows you to draw 1. You might be like, wait, how do I draw 1 with this if you know this is a card? Because this allows you to send a card named Garura. We'll go over that later. That lets you draw a card too. So you get a lot of utility out of Nadir Servant just by sending some cards. You can see how we could do that way. Cards like this. Let's say you send this, go the other way. Will allow you to get a Dogmatika Ecclesia, which will allow you to get this. This is a negate for a monster. Really using your extra deck for that purpose. Because most extra decks, believe it or not, unless you're running like Salamangreat or a very link-heavy stuff, you got about 5 extra spaces that you're not using constantly, like really constantly. Look at your deck, drill down. Are you using all the spots in your deck? What else can we do with this? Because this is going to be crazy. Super Polymerization, probably one of the deadliest cards. Why? This is an insane board breaker. I told you I'd talk about Garura. Here he is. Look at this. Discard a card, fusion summon the card from your extra deck using the monsters on your opponent's field, man. Nobody can activate cards in response to this. So once you play Super Polymerization, that's it. He's forced to watch you, like that chicken from Robot Chicken that's forced to watch the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like he's forced to watch. He can't do anything about it. And now you can get Garura, right? Or Mud Dragon. These are the 2 main ones. Why? Because look, this monster's 2 monsters with the same type and attribute but different names. And this guy's 2 monsters with the same attribute but different types. So these guys cover everything. What's cool about Garura is when he goes to the graveyard, you get to draw a card. So even that, you get advantage too. So you might discard a card, you can get it right back if you went to Garura. Now, there's other cards too that we can go into with Super Polymerization. And it all depends on kind of like your style and what you want to preference and how much space you have. Like I said, if you only have a little bit of space, just Guru and Mud Dragon might do. But look, this is for 2 dark monsters. This is for 3 dark monsters. This is for a fusion and a dark monster. This is for a fusion and a synchro. This is for a light or a dark dragon and a dragon monster, right? So you can see how there's a lot of generic options you could do, but you can also get drilled down and specialize against your opponent. Let's say Malice was the big dog, right? I was using these guys here because look, this is a Cyberse and a Link. So this was able to really take care of a Malice board, or even this is 3 Link monsters. So you could kind of tailor your extra deck to what you need, right? Was Fiendsmith a problem? Well, use this guy because look, that's 2 light fiends. So if your guy's using Fiendsmith, and or maybe if you yourself have Fiendsmith, you can sneak that in your Super Poly package. Or what about when Ubel was a big thing, right? And everybody was ending on Ubel. Well, now you just take their own Ubel monster plus all the effect monsters on the field that you want. Basically, you wipe your whole opponent's board, and now you got your own monster. Absolutely crazy. And now you might be like, oh, I'm not the best at choosing. There's resources and tools. In fact, There's a fusion helper here. You just say, hey, look, this is on the board. I've been playing against Blue Eyes a lot. You can put what's currently on the board, and it'll tell you what your fusion targets are. Right now, this card is currently banned. They should put a little note on that for this website. But there's a lot of resources to tell you, like, what's some good fusion targets that you could kind of put in your deck if you want to use Super Polymerization. Let's move on to some other crazy extra deck options that you could do here. Let's say you don't even want to do that, right? There are cards that are just generically useful in your deck, could be in your extra deck. Chaos Angel, for example, all you need is cards that equal 10. That's light and dark, because you could treat a light and dark as a tuner. As long as you got something that equals 10, you can make a Chaos Angel. And now what's cool is with that, you just have levels of 10 on the field, and this is just going to banish a card on the field because you made it. Very good card to think about having in your deck. Typhon. I've been raving about this card since its implication into the game. This card is absolutely insane. I have a whole video on Typhon I will put up there right now. There's a video up there. Click on it if you want to know more about Typhon. It's absolutely nuts. And here's the thing about Typhon, right? You make this card when you're in a losing situation, right? Because you get to just make this if your opponent did a lot of special summoning, right? Bada bing, bada boom. And this card only has a 14% win rate when summoned. And a lot of people will be like, ew, Jesse, that's not good. That's not good. Well, why would you put a card that has an only 14% win rate when summoned in your deck? Remember, you're only making this card when you're in the worst situations, like you're tied to the railroad tracks, like, oh, please, please, like you're James Bond getting the saw, like rolling into you with the laser coming towards him, like you're in the worst situations. You're gonna lose anyways, but then you summon this guy and it makes you get out of those situations 14% of the time. So now you turned your lost games into won games because 14% of the time, because you were running a Typhon. That's worth a slot to me. Definitely put a Typhon in there. I don't care what anyone says. If it's a bad card, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's move on to some other cards. Ultimate Slayer and Metaltronus. Great for especially going second decks that want more options besides Super Polymerization. This is, I think, the plan B for these. But again, these also get you advantage in other ways that Super Polymerization doesn't, because you're not discarding a card, right? And we could send different kinds of stuff to the graveyard. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me give you some examples. For those of you that don't know, Metaltronus will be able to target a monster your opponent controls. You'll be able to match it with the monster of your extra deck, or just it has to have the same type, attribute, or attack, right? You need to have two of those. And then Ultimate Slayer just needs to send one from the extra deck that matches the kind of the type, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum, and you get to shuffle that card into the deck. Let's show you some good targets for that, right? For these things, I think these are great targets for it. This is a great extra. You can only use 15, but I'm just using this to showcase some really good cards. Again, this pops. This mills 5. This lets you destroy a monster at your convenience on your turn. This lets you destroy a spell at your convenience on your turn. Right? So these won't activate right away, so you can actually kind of hold them for when you need it. This lets you draw a card. These let you revive a fiend from your graveyard or banishment when on your opponent's turn. Really good. By the way, Typhon is a fiend. So I've done that multiple times where I've revived my own Typhon back and won the game because of that. This guy lets you add a ritual spell or a ritual monster. This guy lets you this guy's name is Gaia Armor. Not many people will know what this guy does. Maybe I should say their names too, because a lot of people might not know what they do. This guy's name is Gaia Armor. When Gaia Armor goes to the graveyard, you can attach it to one of your monsters, and every time that monster destroys something by battle, it gets to draw a card. Really good for multiple attackers. This is Malong, lets you put a card back to the hand on the field. This is Ignister Pegasus. This lets you shuffle a card on the field back into the deck if your opponent destroys something. This is these cards are just insane. This guy lets you bring monster from your banishment back into your graveyard. Really good. This guy pushes one of your opponent's cards into the back row when it's sent to the graveyard. This is Lulu Lilith. This lets you get a card, Light Spellcaster, whose attack and defense is the same. They equal each other, and you get to special summon it at the end of your turn. This is Aggregator. He will just automatically negate something on the field. This is Typhon. He's just nasty and in general to have in your deck. So I just wanted to remind you about him. This lets you draw a card and then put a card back. Great for getting rid of garnets. If this card is in the graveyard, this is a Paleozoic card. What he does is he lets you just simply protect a card that's going to get destroyed, one of your back row. If one of your back row is getting destroyed, you get to banish this card from your graveyard. This is the double Trunny Sunny. She lets you destroy a card, and this lets you send a winged beast like a Garua to the graveyard and to draw a card. So he's pretty good there. These are the fossil cards. This is the Terra Elements, and this is Entis. So there you go. These are the Chimera cards, and that's Herald. So all of those great targets for Ultimate Slayer that you need to be running or consider in your repertoire. This list isn't exhaustive. There's much more, but these are probably the best ones that I could think of off the top of my head real quick. Gaia Armor's one that's under the radar that a lot of people aren't using. Winter Cherries is another thing you could do here. Look at this. This card has won me multiple games when formats were just, people were just running the same deck over and over in formats. So what do I mean by that? Winter Cherries was winning me games against these particular formats. When everybody and their mom was playing tier, it was winning me games because I would just send Kick Kalos from the extra deck to the graveyard. It was winning me games against Kashtira when everybody was playing Kashtira. You just banish this guy. Because what does this card do? If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, it's a hand trap. You discard this card, reveal a card in your extra deck, look at your opponent's extra deck, take a nice peek, take a gander, and banish all cards in their extra deck with the same name as the revealed card. So you're banishing Kit Kalos, you're banishing Arise Heart, and in the Ryziel matchup, when that was a thing, you banish that. So when there's these close to tier 1 formats or tier 0 formats, and a lot of people are using these extra deck cards, like 50%, you're seeing these cards in over 50% of your matches, whip out the Winter Cherries, whip her out, because she's absolutely disgusting. What else can we do with our extra deck, right? Because this card, by the way, wins me a lot of formats. What's another good extra deck card? Waking the Dragon. Very, very underrated, right? If this set card's destroyed, or it doesn't even need to be destroyed, it can be banished as long as it just leaves the field and is now in the graveyard or banished, right? Special summon a monster from your deck or extra deck. Any monster you want is what you wish is yours to dish. This is the easiest way to get out anything you want. Talk about dirty deeds done dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty easy to get whatever you want. And if I had to just select one monster, there's so many good targets. I would select probably, this is the best monster I would select. I'll give you some more options here. There's a million of monsters that's really good that you could talk about. But this guy right here is unaffected by everything. That's all you need to know. If he gets rid of this, it's unaffected by everything. And then you're looking at a 4,000 attack monster. That's all that really you need to know. Unaffected by anything, no matter what he does. And this card alone is just wins multiple matchups because people don't have that out. People don't have a monster that gets over 4,000 attack. They have all these ways. They're like, oh, my cards banish you, and my cards will destroy you. My cards will make you join my team. My cards make you do this and that and this. But then it's unaffected by everything. It's got 4,000 attack. He's like, I can't get over it. I can't. Oh, my whole deck can't do that. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. Great. Some other good targets, by the way, are probably Naturia Exterior and Last Warrior from Another Planet. This guy, when he's special summoned, you just destroy all the monsters you control. So if that's something he does, remember, you don't have to get this guy out, but this could be something, an option. What's cool is now you lock your opponent. Neither player can summon monsters. So if you get this guy out and that's the first thing he does is destroy your Waking the Dragon, well, now he's going to have a hard time because now he can't do anything. He's not going to be able to summon anything unless he's got a Raigeki or something to get rid of him. And Naturia Exterior is pretty cool too, because basically when a spell or trap is activated, what is pretty cool is you just banish a card from your graveyard, send the top of your deck to the graveyard, negate the activation. So you'll always be able to use this because you'll have a card in your graveyard. It's Waking the Dragon, of course. And then when they use spells, just send the top of your deck to the graveyard. You're able to negate the activation and destroy that. So you can just keep doing this. This is basically turns off all spells and traps from your opponent. Absolutely disgusting. Now, I'm going to take you to school a little bit for some cards that are hardly ever used, and maybe for good reason, but they did help me in some events in some lesser used formats and they're good, just good knowledge. This is like a Jeopardy question. You might not use it all the time, but you might use it like maybe like 0.1% of the time, but it's good to know. Here's something good. Do you know about Link Apple and Chamaferite, right? I don't even know how to say these cards. You guys are kind of crazy. Link Apple, I used in an event, one of these like weird events. I used it for the sole purpose of drawing a card. Sometimes, you know, you might want to just really think about milling your deck, thinning your deck, right? You're running Upstart Goblin, you're running Upstart Goblin, Chicken Game, Link Apple, because you really just want to find a certain card. Maybe you're just a deep draw deck. All you have to do is reveal a card in your hand, reveal this card in your hand, the Link Apple, and then you banish a random card from your extra deck. Then, if the banish was a Link monster, you get to special summon this. Or if it's not, you just discard this and draw a card. So really, you just discard. You're just drawing a card if you're not running Link monsters. So this is just an additional draw, especially if you're not using your extra deck. And this guy does the same thing pretty much if you just put no extra deck, right? Because sometimes people will just put random hogposh, but this guy might want to draw you a card. Maybe again, you have a certain goal that you need to deep draw in, and you don't use your extra deck. I would probably do a different card, but hey, I just gotta talk about them anyways. If you have no cards in your extra deck, destroy this guy, draw a card, right? And then he can special summon himself later. He can keep coming back, kind of cool. But not that crazy. But here's the thing everyone is using, right? If you're gonna talk about extra deck stuff that you're not using, these pots, please just use a pot here of your choice. Pot of Extravagance and Pot of Prosperity. Absolutely devastating. These both allow you to get rid of cards. This one allows you your choice. Currently, this one is banned in Master Duel, but it's still, I believe, allowed in TCG. And this guy is just always allowed because it's just random. But just banish this. I have videos on these guys too. I think you should use them. I think they're really great cards to just get rid of your extra deck if you have the space. And here's some other cards too that you got to consider. Gale Dogra. Look at this. Pay 3,000, send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. And I showed you the multitude of monsters that you could do. So if you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of your life points here, you're going to be able to send 2 monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard with this, which could give you a huge advantage. Or if you're not using spells and traps, you could pay half your life points and use the extra foolish burial, really, to pay half your life points, send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Pretty cool. Pretty other alternative options. Always good to have those kinds of things. Now, what about these cards? Metamorphosis, Duality, and Shadow's Life. I want to mention these because what's absolutely is crazy is I haven't found a way, really. I mean, Metamorphosis works with runic cards very well, actually. Absolutely disgusting. But other than that, I've been trying to find my way to make these 3 cards work. There's not really good targets for them yet, but these cards are not future proof, and I want to bring them up because I've said this, I want to say about a year ago, and I said in 5 years, one of these cards will be banned. In 5 years, because it's not future proofed. I said it about a year ago. So in 4 years, one of these cards will be banned because they're not future proofed, and they're absolutely devastating. I'm not going to go over what they do, but I put their effects up here. They basically deal with dark and light monsters and special summoning just stuff from your extra deck. Absolutely disgusting. While Metamorphosis allows you to tribute, fusion, or synchros and special summon any monster from your deck with that same level. So there's so much opportunities with this stuff. Like I said, Runic might have the best chance, but as more decks come out and stuff is not future proof, these cards do absolutely deadly stuff too. And this card draws a card too. This guy, one of these gives you an extra normal summon. Crazy stuff. Absolutely disgusting, these cards. Not future proof, and I think that these will have a future in the game. So I needed to mention that, otherwise I would be doing you a disservice. Now, by the way, if you like this kind of stuff, because we're not done here, I want to show you one last thing. Just give me a like, give me a sub. That just helps live. Just love helping you guys out, and I have a fun time doing this, making videos, especially talking about the extra deck, because I could just go on for hours about this. So I tried to really shorten this video, because literally this video was like a 2-hour video, so I'm trying to shorten this. But anyways, I've got one more thing to show you here, and that's just an example, by the way. Oh, you can also find me on Twitch too. So just give me a like, give me a sub, if you find this stuff useful, if you like math and like stats, I go over all that stuff. Especially you can find me on Twitch Monday and Wednesday, or on YouTube. I stream and you see me use these wacky tech cards, baby. Come check me out there. Speaking of which, let's just jump into one example real quick of how just using the extra deck, using cards that don't use the extra deck, is going to be a good time. Let's jump right in now because I'm doing too much yapping and not enough slapping. Let's jump right in. All right, what do we got here? I'm going first here. We're in an event here. I thought this would be a fun one because I always use like cards like Nadir Servant, all that stuff. You can see me use my cards, what I use. I'm playing Regenesis here, and I want to show you Waking the Dragon, right? Because Regenesis is really interesting. If you don't know this, when you use Regenesis code, you won't be able to use your extra deck anyways. This locked me from using the extra deck. So I might as well play cards like Waking the Dragon and have a good time. Anyways, Regenesis code will get me my monsters, which will get me some Regenesis stuff. I'll be able to do that. He's going to stop me with Duel, so now what I got is what I got. Nope, just kidding. That guy's an Omni-Gate. I could just get rid of my own card, but that's not going to do anything now because he's going to stop that, which now that kind of hurts because now I'm drolled and I can't draw stuff. So I'm kind of in a pickle here. That's not good. So all I really now do have to my name is this Waking the Dragon card. Because he stopped me there, so that's absolutely devastating. Now, he's gonna go do some stuff, show some stuff. He's showing me that he's running Orcus. Orcus during this event was the premier deck. It was the best deck by far and by none. So I can't do anything now, really. I mean, I do have one negate with this Regenesis, because I can't send my own Regenesis card, but that's it. I'm trying to prevent him at least from getting Orcus Babel, right? But he's gonna get it anyways because he can always just banish this stuff. I know he's got stuff in the graveyard. I'm just trying to at least delay it. Maybe not let him get the trap or something. I don't know. It's pretty deadly, and he's now free to combo off with his Orcus. Orcus, if you know, has an insane grind game, but so does Regenesis, which is pretty cool. So here he goes, going into his deadly combo, and look at this, going into Galatea here, which is gonna let him get something too. Now he gets to shuffle these back, get the Orcus card of his choosing, and there it is. There's Babel. That's what I was trying to make him not get, because that gets him a really good grind game. And here we go. This is now devastating. He's gonna go into Long Gursu first. He's gonna play with his food before he eats it. So now he's gonna go here, put this card down. Oh, what's he gonna do with this? Banish something. That lets him special summon the guy. Again, he gets pretty much all the stuff he wants. Now he gets to go into this here. Goes into Dingursu, the Evening Star here. What does this guy do here? He's gonna attack something. Oh, I was hoping that he would at least destroy my cards. And here he goes. He's starting his relentless assault on me. Going into the main phase 2. Now, here's where he's gonna go into the big guy. Gonna go into this. And by the way, he can revive this guy at any time he wants because he's got his Orcus guys, which is gonna be doing his Babelicious stuff. By using the Orcus Simple Skeleton, he just took control of a guy. But here's what's interesting. Even though he used that card to take control of my guy, because I used it and summoned it with Regenesis code, no matter where it is, it goes to the graveyard anyways. So, nice try trying to take my guy, but guess what? He's going to come back to me because he's a real one. He's loyal. You know what I'm saying? He's like a dog. And that's what you need to get when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to make sure you got some loyal cards like that. I got some loyal cards. Anyways, all I got to my name now is Waking the Dragon. So he's going to use Dingursu here. And what's he going to do with this? Oh, he's going to send the card my opponent controls to the graveyard. And now he decides to send the Waking the Dragon, baby. And he just woke the dragon because I get the Red Raptor Rising Rebellion Falcon. And that's what I was saying. This card against Orcus, and I have a myriad of options I could have went into, or is it maybe Myriad? I don't know. I had a multitude of options that I could have chose from, but I chose this guy to come from my extra deck because look at this. If you look at the Orcus deck and all the cards they have, not a single one of these cards in the deck can rise to the occasion and get more attack than this beast. So this card instantly wins against Orcus. Instantly. So now I have nothing to fear because he just woke the dragon and I just won. I don't need to worry about the grind game. Oh, by the way, I'm going to get rid of the orchestrated babble. And here he goes. He's going to try to use this to take control of my Rising Rebellion Falcon. Well, like he did with the Sage. But like all of my cards, baby, they're all loyal to me. And this guy is unaffected by such trivial tricks. He's not going to join your team. He wants to join a real man's team. By the way, Eldest will say to get that guy off the field. Because, by the way, another tech card I'm using is the Delta of Invitation. I have a video on that. I really think you should use this guy. This is a great board breaker. As you can see, I am breaking and dismantling his board. Speaking of which, Regenesis, if that's in there, allows me to get the Fiend back, which is gonna let me search a card. Oh no, he's gonna negate it. That's fine. I'll just get him off the field with Sage. Sage wiped him off the field, and now I get to search whatever I want. And by the way, I do have Dark Spirit's Mastery here, which can let me search a Lava Golem to just get rid of these 2 cards. But right now, I'm playing with my food. I'm absolutely enjoying the lunch I got here. Delicious lunch. He's gonna droll me, but I don't even care, so I don't even need to use Dark Spirit's Mastery because I got this guy, the Mighty card, which will just set this powerful card, which gets me all my cards back. Oh, and by the way, I get to get my banished guy back, so if you thought he was gone, he's back. Oh, and here comes Eldritch. I don't need that. Oh, he doesn't want to see anymore. He's seen enough because finally, I think it took him that long to finally read what the Rising Rebellion Falcon did. He realized he had no options. Besides that, I was probably just going to destroy him for that turn anyways. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the power of Pine Sol, baby. That's the power of just using your extra deck. I knew that everybody's using Orcus, and the big thing that Orcus does is making sure when they get that Dingirsu out, they send a card to the graveyard. I knew that they would send, that's just a free card to do. When you're against cards, and almost every meta deck nowadays can send cards to the graveyard, right? Like they go into access code, they go into something, they're able to clear boards. And if they're clearing boards without an Omnigate, if that's the current meta, look into Waken the Dragon. That's what I'm just saying, because you get cards that just instantly win you the game. Just something to consider, how to use your extra deck. Again, I have multitude of replays where I'm using Super Polymerization, Nadir Servant. We don't need to see those because those are just simple and efficient. I really just wanted to highlight this one where, look at that. Waking the Dragon was a great tech because everybody and their families and their aunts and their uncles was using Orcus for this event. And this is just a card that you can just whip out during certain situations where now you just have an instant win condition. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.